Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Always glad to be here with you. I'm here to do my Friday check-in with you all. And if you're just landing on the channel, I'm a Fefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. So glad that you're here. Stick around. I hope you like it and hit that like and subscribe button. Many of you have been hyping my videos. I so very much appreciate that. I'm really working hard to try and grow the channel. I'm feel like I want to do better content and be consistent. So I thank you all for your support so very much. You show up for me, I'm going to absolutely continue to show up for you. I appreciate you to the fullest. My members, speaking of which, typically I have a private Zoom meeting with my channel members. If you're interested in joining that, there's a link to all the information below in the description box. But we meet privately off the platform where we can really, it's not recorded, just do our thing the last Friday of every month. But because today is Halloween, it's postponed until next Friday. I'll post a reminder of that next week. All right. Hope to see you there. Looking forward to it. All right, y'all. What's up with this? Is Usha Vance being replaced, like, sure enough, by Erika Kirk? I mean, by now, I think most of us have seen the videos and certainly the close up pictures of this embrace at Ole Miss, I think it was, where they were. They've been, Turning Point has been doing this college campus tour, trying to keep, the whole Charlie Kirk thing alive, Turning Point USA alive. And so, uh, like, we saw what we saw. So, JD, when he went in, his hands are on Erica's hips. Erica just went all up in his hair. Like, many of us have lived in our personal lives. We know what that means when a woman reaches behind a man and gets in his hair like that. And if we've certainly watched enough rom-coms to know that gesture, right? People were like, Usha, girl, like, hello. That, in addition to the fact that JD went on this whole spiel about, there was a very powerful exchange, you all. If you haven't seen it, it's worth looking it up. I don't know her name, but there was a student, because they're doing these tours on the college campuses, Turning Point. And there was a beautiful, I think she's Muslim student, Indian, who talked, raised some questions to JD about treatment of other people, other cultures in this country, and the tone that everything is taken in. Of course, he made some, I don't even know what he pulled out of the back of his neck to respond to that. Very condescending as always. But bottom line is, he also apparently has said he hopes, it's his fervent prayer, basically, that Usha will convert to Christianity. He also said, we know he's very, his relationship to the truth is very, very interesting. He said that Usha really was not, even though she is Hindu, that her parents, she really wasn't raised in a very, where they really practiced their faith. And yet one of their sons is named Vivek. One of their three kids that JD has with Usha, one of their kids' names is Vivek. They had a Hindu wedding, in addition to, I think, a Christian wedding, but they did so to respect her culture. And she has even said, there are quotes from her from while they were on the campaign trail last year, talking about her Hindu upbringing and her parents and their faith and all of that. So let's shuffle this deck right now, because also, you all heard Candace Owens, probably one of the only times you'll hear me mention her name on my channel. That piece of work that she is, and especially as a woman of color, I got some feelings about that are not spiritual at all, right? I'm being honest. But she had an interesting thing that came out on social media last week. Many of you may have seen. She came out and said point blank period that I'll leave they up to your interpretation, had Charlie Kirk taken care of, because he was clearly going to ascend to the presidency. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Spirit had me read on, not about who took him out, but on whether he had those presidential aspirations, and it was a hands down 100% yes. So there's that question. So Is Erika like, well, look, if I'm not going to be first lady with Charlie, perhaps I can be first lady with JD? I mean, is that are we seeing what we seeing? Let's go in and look at it. Is that situation what we think we saw? And if so, does that harm JD's aspirations moving forward? Because we know he's counting the days. We got the Eight of Wands. There's some energy on this thing, you all. And I also think that saying the Eight of Wands moves quickly. I think that and it's fire, right? This post, these images, these videos of JD and Erika, like boom, right? There's going to be an effort to try and squash some of that. And I think on her end as well, we've got the Page of Pentacles. Exactly. That's damage control, trying to pull that back a little bit. But Spirit, what is the truth? What is the truth? Is there something where Usha is being seen as a liability by JD because of her faith and her culture? She is a brown woman. Is he perceiving her as a liability? The moon, he's worried. He's trying to hide it. Remember, when he gave his tribute to Charlie Kirk, JD, when he gave his tribute to Charlie Kirk, he said that in his friendship with Charlie, that Charlie made him want to be a better husband and a better father. It has been said that, and I don't know if he himself, JD, admitted this, but I remember seeing that he could be quick-tempered with Usha. So there's been some, and I remember when that came out, people were like, Usha, if you're in trouble, girl, like blink 3 times when you're on camera. We'll come help you out. And we have the Hierophant, because this is twofold, you all. This is about maintaining the influence of Turning Point USA. Absolutely. For 2026, 2028 and beyond, this was a very powerful organization of young MAGA conservatives that Charlie built. And so JD is looking at, by all means, I got to stay tapped into this audience. I got to stay tapped into this block, this voting block. But also I want to stay tapped into what is clearly, his design of ascending to the presidency, either because of what's going to happen to Canks, when he exits stage left, whenever, like everybody's just sitting back looking at their watches like, come on, Spirit, what do we need to put some grease on the wheels? What's going on here? But he's got that Hierophant is speaking to the bottom line is he's thinking all things related to his ascendancy to the presidency. Is he going to have to figure out a way to separate Usha himself from Usha's faith? 9 of Cups. I feel like this is him continuing to pressure her to somehow diminish her own faith, her own culture on his behalf. Spirit, is JD going to put pressure on Usha to herself come out and play along with him and minimize her culture? There's the 6 of Cups. Ooh, that's going to be such a difficult position to put her in. 6 of Cups being, her background, her history, her childhood, how she is very proud of that. And she said that. She made no bones about that on the campaign trail. Will she capitulate? 9 of Swords, she is stressed to the max. Does she believe, is she concerned that Erika is being viewed as her replacement, perhaps in her own husband's eyes? Is she concerned about that? She sure is. Hangman, she's sitting up there going, wait a minute. Is what I'm seeing, regardless of what everybody else is seeing. Is this a thing? Spirit, will Usha change? I'm feeling like somehow I don't know about divorce. is there divorce coming? Ten of Wands. It's too big a burden. There is burnout there for sure between JD and Usha. But the burden of having to, in this moment in time, and time, the timelines being so crazy right now, like 2028, I know we're all like, that seems forever, but on the other hand, it's going to be here like that. Spirit is saying it's almost too big a burden, Ten of Wands, for him politically, JD, to actually go so far as a father of three, as somebody who's, supposed to be so Christian and so holy, to justify leaving his wife, then justify perhaps a replacement for Usha, all in time for what he's planning to do. Because ultimately, even if, theoretically, if Canks made it to 2028, that was the end goal for JD. Whether it happens before then, that's one thing. And I'm getting, I get it, Five of Pentacles. He's afraid of losing support. MAGA doesn't care about JD. They never did. And Spirit has said that for the longest time, that even if JD does manage to get into the top seat, that it would only be temporary, one way or another. It would only be temporary because he's not liked. He's not liked by the political powers that be. He's not liked by the establishment. And he is not, the young folks, he is no Charlie Kirk by any means. He's trying to morph into that role. We know he can be the chameleon, the ever-changing chameleon, whatever's expedient to move him ahead. And the Eight of Cups. That's Usha pulling herself back emotionally. Is she just going to ride the ride? Is she going to be like another Melania and just ride the ride? Knight of Cups. As riding the ride, going with the flow, Cups and Knights of Movement. Is she just going to ride the ride? And the Emperor, she's going to ride the ride. Usha's not, this will not go as far as, that worst case scenario. That said, it has nothing to do with what is actually, let's do it this way. Spirit, what are we going to see from JD and Erika in the future in terms of their relationship, or what is shown in their relationship? But, okay, the Emperor just kicked back out as I was trying to shuffle. So that's him. That's JD, determined to ascend. How are they going to play this out, Spirit? And will the supporters of Turning Point buy into JD? Because remember, Erika is the one who was, is the CEO. She's the one who said, okay, I'm going to take over and maintain my husband's legacy. Husband, by the way, is, grieving widow, showing up in some those leather pants was so skin tight you could bounce a dime off those things, right? Not hating. She was wearing them now, but interesting choice of clothing. I mean, they were so tight. I was surprised she didn't speak in like a helium balloon voice, those things. But again, not hating. She was wearing them. All right. Spirit, will the supporters of Turning Point, including very big MAGA donors who were pushing, Charlie Kirk didn't get where he got without the money, will they continue to support with JD trying to maintain his pact with Erika, the High Priestess? I think you're going to see fewer or somehow separating the two of them, like Vance still doing his thing. Of course, Erika's going to do her thing as CEO, but they will be acutely aware at this point going forward of how they interact publicly. The High Priestess is sort of walking between two worlds. And the Two of Cups. So, What happens behind the scenes when the cameras are not on, that may be one scenario. What happens in front of it, but still a united front between JD and Erika. They need each other. She trusts him. Apparently there was a friendship with Charlie. She trusts him and she needs him. She definitely feels like she needs him. And there's the magician. Yeah, they're going to move forward with this in terms of continuing to make sure that JD tries and maintain a presence, a very strong presence, in with the Turning Point folk, and he has to do that through Erika. So yeah, that's going to continue to happen, but I don't think, and in all swiftness, the Eight of Wands comes back again as it started this segment of the reading. So we're not going to see, I don't think we're going to see, at least no time soon, we're not going to see a real blow up with Usha Vance. I think Usha is in it for the long haul. I don't see her, Spirit showed, I don't see her renouncing her faith, but she may have to walk that line and seem more Christian centric in some of her views. I also don't see her, I see her almost, Spirit is saying she will absolutely, to the extent possible, avoid interviews and comments and having to go on the record to substantiate her positioning within her own faith and her own culture as it relates to JD and the whole Christian movement. All right. Second thing, I want to moving on. A lot of people got excited about the Senate this week because of their, culminating in their managing to pass and get together enough numbers to basically come back and say and challenge Canks' authority with global tariffs, right? And everybody's like, whew, finally we're seeing some daylight, waking up out of their coma in the Senate. The tough thing about that, if I got my facts straight, you all will let me know, is having done that, it would have to go back to the House to actually end those tariffs and get a bill passed that reasserts Congress's authority, right? Around that. So it would have to go back to the House. And then I think if something, it has to go to Canks' desk, which we know what he's going to do. So the end goal of that is one thing, but I am seeing that, you all, Spirit gave me the wording soft succession. I know that has been a term used in terms of what states were going to do, whether in fact, talking about this whole Civil War thing, if states were going to begin to one way or another succeed. Especially a lot of attention has been paid to California and what's been done there. I did not know the state of California accounts for 15% of the USA's gross domestic product, GDP. 15%. So that would be like, talk about succession. Like, excuse me, you all. It's a beautiful day here. I've got the windows open, so if you're hearing a little noise outside, that's what it is. All right. Are we seeing a soft succession by the Senate? Are we going to see continued resistance? Because regardless of what happens with tariffs, when the government reopens and when the Senate has to step up going forward to approve some of these bills that are they succeeding from basically Trumpism? Is the Senate succeeding from Trumpism? That's what I'm looking at. Because remember, you all, as well, I don't know how many Senate races are coming up next year. Everybody's been so focused on the House and the Democrats retaking the House. And then there were question marks about whether or not that would be possible with the Senate. But there are, so clearly, there are Senate seats coming up in 2026 in the midterms. Is the Senate a go? Or will the Senate be a go because of this soft succession? Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Spirits of light, spirits of divine goodness. The Senate. Six of Wands, all right? Because they've gotten a taste of what can be done, and they are waking up. And many, myself and many others on the platform have said that this was going to happen. There would be a resistance. And there's this whole government shutdown and certainly SNAP funds and the hermit. Yes, indeed. Getting down to the business at hand, reasserting their Congress as a co-equal branch of government, and figuring out the details of how to do that. Deep, deep, we want it back. We want our power back. And the King of Wands, I'm not sure who that is, you all. It could be Thune, but I feel like this is somebody else within Republican Senate ranks who's going to emerge from this. And the Ten of Swords, because they're tired of it. They are really worn down. I mean, no sympathy here, and probably for most of us, right? No sympathy for them for capitulating up until this point. We wouldn't even be in this situation had they had some cojones, right? But they are. They're at the, and remember, when you get to a 10 in Tyrell, it's the breaking point. It's like I can't even get any more stressed than I am right now. Something has to give. That's where they are. So they are, Spirit. I feel like Spirit is confirming there is a soft succession and it will not stop. Spirit, will the Senate continue along this vein? Will they begin to turn this tide? Four of Pentacles, it's going to be slow, you all. It's going to be, this feels like 2 steps forward, 3 back, or, 1 step forward, 2 back. But they got a taste. And this also feels like 4 being relevant to, I think there were 4 Republican senators who crossed over. The 2 from Kentucky, I think, McConnell and Rand, maybe. I might be getting that wrong. You all let me know. And then Murkowski and what's her face, Collins. So I feel like that's relevant here too, the 4. But the 4 are an interesting block. And they do have a lot of influence within the Senate ranks. Will there be more who join their numbers? That 4, Spirit. Will there be more who join their numbers? Here comes the Emperor. Now, this feels 2 ways. There's a leader, perhaps this King of Wands that we saw a moment ago. There is somebody who begins to emerge within the Senate to say, come on, we have to do this. We don't have a choice. We have to do this, especially because of all the fallout that we are about to see and are seeing in real time around SNAP benefits and healthcare, right? Like SH to the YTE, shite, has hit the fan, literally. So there's somebody who emerges from that. And he knows it. Canks knows it. Ace of Wands. I was waiting for my ace. They've been a little slow today. Ace of Wands. Spirit is saying a confirmation. If you're with me on the channel, you know my aces are confirmation from the guides that were on it. So look for that, you all. They are definitely, the Senate has gotten a taste of their ability to go against what's happening. And they chose the tariffs. I'm sorry, more noise outside. They chose the tariffs in particular because this is all feeding into the cost for American people. And keeping in mind, talk about going from bad to worse, the the promises that he made about I'll lower your grocery prices to now you can't even get groceries, right? You can't even get groceries. All right, you all. So I think I'm going to close with that. I've got, one thing Spirit is saying in regards to talking about food and groceries. Spirit, are we going to see more states use? We've already heard about New York now. Kathy Hochul has come out and said they're tapping into their state emergency funds, right? Most states have emergency funds. 65 million in New York being tapped into in response to SNAP being put on pause. Are we going to see sufficient resources from the states to help feed people? Are we going to see sufficient resources from the states to help feed people? Ace of Wands straight out the deck. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Yeah. Is that Ace? Yeah, Ace of Wands comes back. And you saw me shuffle. So yes, we're going to see a tremendous response. From states, from churches, from food banks, from many, many organizations. It is horrible. I was watching the news yesterday and someone was talking about people like TSA workers who are still showing up to work and then leaving work to go get in lines at food banks, right? I mean, it's beyond. It's beyond. But people are going, and Page of Pentacles, the people coming together, and this is Pentacles. I feel like that's actual food, and pages are new, so new avenues. I feel like there's the spirit is saying there will be even grassroots organizations that are blossoming. I'm also hearing that you may see, to the extent that organizations like 50501 or Indivisible or other large resistance oriented organizations, that they are going to incorporate somehow, some way, assistance to people as a part of their mission, so that perhaps even when people gather, there's the Eight of Pentacles. Yes, thank you for that confirmation. So we may even see that as an avenue when there are organized protests, that perhaps a feature of that will be, a setup someplace where people can make donations or receive goods from people. Every aspect of every organization that can possibly do something in response to this, I think you're going to see so many step up to bat. And the Knight of Pentacles, all those pentacles coming up. Eight of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. That is the people, that is food, that is sustenance, that is money, that is donations, that is, everything that the American people need to do to band together and take care of one another. You're going to see that. And this whole piece about him coming up with $12 billion now for farm aid, okay, do that. By all means, do that. But the larger scope of everyone who has a need right now, that need is going to be answered by America at large. All right? Let's do our parts. Keep our chins up. That's something to raise our chins for, and put our shoulders back, and certainly get in touch with our hearts, because it reminds us of our humanity, and it reminds us that at the end of the day, we are going to step up and take care of one another. There is no way that American people and children especially are going to go hungry. Not happening. Not on everybody's watch. It's not happening. All right. The blowback from that, though, of even having been put in this situation, oh, yeah, we're going to see a whole lot from that. All right, you all, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Please keep an eye out for me for Sunday, because I'm going to definitely dedicate my video on Sunday to the upcoming races on Tuesday. And a couple of you have brought to my attention a few others. There's some judges in Pennsylvania. So if there are pivotal races that you're aware of, feel free to drop a comment, and when I do my reading on Sunday, I'll take a look at some of those things. Okay, thank you again so much. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.